Yo, yo, yo!
This is going to be the first step of those episodes for the fantasy contest, and we're going to be focusing on the fan team season-long contest obviously on fan team. I did drop my strategy guide in a 30-second video a few days ago. It's been showing quite a bit of love, but again, if everyone could just go over to my YouTube, click on my Twitter, click my YouTube, and watch this video here. It gives you a quick rundown of my favourite strategies, tips and tricks. I am going to run through those again now anyway. But again, yeah, we'll be going into the fantasy contest over on Fan Team. So you want to be going over to EPL Fantasy Season Game. It's a £175,000 prize pool, which is an absolutely huge amount of money. So this needs to be taken very, very seriously. And yeah, I'll get into my strategies before I get into some player picks and things like that. So the first strategy I want to mention is keeping the majority of your budget for the midfield or the forward position. So obviously, as you can see here, Mo Salah, Erling Haaland, Cole Palmer, Isak, that's 2 midfielders, 2 forwards. Obviously, the most expensive players in the game. So ideally, you want to be selecting sort of a 3-5-2 formation or a 3-4-3 formation to try and maximise those valuations from the midfield and the forward positions, and obviously keeping as much budget as you possibly can for attacking-minded players to get those extra points for the attacking contributions. You want to sort of prioritise the 90-minute plus players. As you can see in the scoring, you get 1 point for an appearance, 1 point for 60 minutes per match. But then again, when you get to midfielders and the forwards, you get an extra point for a played full match. So it is beneficial to get the extra point by prioritising a solid 90-minute player with the higher attacking potential as well. Again, targeting set piece takers, that's a crucial one, I think. They have a higher chance at scoring penalties or free kicks, or a higher chance at assisting from free kicks and corners as well. Obviously, they're more than likely going to be a midfielder or a striker, so 5 points for a goal for a midfielder, 4 for a striker. An assist as well is worth a few points, 3 points for an assist. So those set piece takers obviously have the higher potential for an extra point. Your captain should be a person that you believe is going to return a fair amount of points. As you can see here, there's the rules. Your captain, wherever it is, it's there somewhere. Your captain is worth double points. So you want to be picking a captain who can guarantee a return on points based on matchups per week. I'll get onto the matchups in a little bit as well, especially sort of early on in the season. No need to take risks in looking for a differential kind of player early on. We sort of don't need to do that until the end, but getting a solid contributor that can bag a goal or two to get double points from your captain should be a priority. Moving on to the bench a little bit, try and keep your bench as cheap as possible, but also as competitive as possible. As mentioned, I want to be targeting players that are going to be getting around 90 minutes, and that can ensure a few points at a minimum. If you need to use your bench for whatever reason, obviously, I like to pick a full 15 team where I can swap in and out, players in and out, and those bench players need to be competitive. 90 minutes for each player, with obviously the attacking probabilities as well. And then backing up on that, the bench is there to be used, so don't be afraid of adding rotational players to your bench to change up your team. If a player is out of form, so say if you pick Isak, obviously he's got a lot on his mind at the moment with this, hopefully a move to Liverpool for him. If he is slipping out of form, you could have a bench player, say Goalkeeper Assets there, and you can swap him in and out. So don't be afraid to use your bench. Don't be afraid of adding rotational players to your bench to change up your team if a player is out of form or has a run of bad fixtures. Picking value and premium players very wisely is going to be crucial. Too many premium players will leave you with less of a budget to fill out your squad. So, for instance, if you're going to be picking Salah, Haaland, Palmer, and Isak, that takes out that's glitched. Oh my gosh! So that takes around 40,000 for each player there. For those 4 players, which isn't ideal. It's going to take out a massive chunk of your team. Obviously, you don't want to be doing that. It will leave you under budget, and it'll leave you with less of a budget to fill out your squad. Obviously, that's not sustainable throughout the season, and finding the balance between the two is crucial. With that being said, fixtures are also going to be a huge and crucial part to this contest. Pay attention to the fixture list, and obviously the strength of schedule especially for the first 10 weeks. So between weeks 1 and 10, don't base your whole team on the first 10 weeks, but it's an added factor you have to include. I think Man City have a decent run of games in the first 10. Chelsea have a decent run of games in the first 10 as well. So looking through the fixtures and things like that is going to be crucial. And then the final one is the final strategy that I tend to forget about really is to have fun. Obviously, fantasy football is fun. It's obviously nice to win. It's not nice to lose, but these things are out of your hands. Obviously, you pick a team based on who you believe is going to score you a lot of points. Things like that are out of your hands. So I read a few strategy guides from a few guys that I follow on Twitter, FPL Caesar and Ballystock Sports. They both had a really, really good thread with their own strategy guide. So you can go over to my Twitter, scroll down my Twitter, and you'll find their strategy guides down here somewhere. But they were really good reads, and obviously they had their own takes on what they like to do. Huge amount of fantasy contests, weekly and daily. Obviously, you can see you got golf, you got some friendly matches, you got MLB. There is NBA as well in NBA season. There's NFL and NFL season, and of course you got the Premier League and other football leagues as well around the world. But I'm going to be breaking down this one. I'm going to go through this and I'm going to break down each position. So I'll be sharing my favourite options for these positions: goalkeeper, defence, midfield, and forward. And it's going to be based on a number of factors, including the strength of schedule that I mentioned earlier. Point scoring from last season, how they played last season, a little breakdown on sort of the main stats for that particular position and that particular player. But I'm also going to be splitting this into 3 different sections. So I'm going to be doing 3 different episodes, breaking this down. So the first one is going to be the goalkeeper and the defensive side of things. The next episode next week is going to be midfielders, and then the final one is going to be the forwards. But within each episode, I'm going to be obviously breaking down those categories, the goalkeeper and defence for this one. But I'm going to split it all up into 3 different areas as well. So we're going to have the premium picks. The premium are the higher price players. Obviously, as you can see, like Mo Salah, based on the game. Ideally, you don't want to pick too many of these players, otherwise you won't have much of a budget left for the rest of your team. We're going to be looking at the value players, and that's the complete opposite end of the scale. So that's the player that are under the average price per player, have a higher upside, higher potential based on stats and fixture factors. Based on a standard built squad where the bench is filled with the cheapest players from their position. The average price for a starting 11 player is 7.5 million. So value player is sort of under 7 million, if you like. And then we're going to go through some honourable mentions as well. So obviously I can't mention every single player from each category. And it's obviously going to be a waste of time sharing some stats and players that are unlikely to make a lot of people's teams. But there's a lot of players who are worthy of being in some squads, especially if you have a decent budget left, or if you don't want to miss out on a particular skill set of a player. They will get short mention. Obviously, new transfers in and things like that, I probably will put in the honourable mentions section. A lot of them have come from different leagues, so there's not a lot of fantasy sort of stats on them based on this format. But again, yeah, I'll mention those because they're going to be some really, really good players from different leagues entering this tournament. A little bit on points collecting. Averaging sort of 50 to 59 points each game week is the bare minimum targets. That's what we're going to be hitting at a minimum. A game week score between 60 and 75, that's considered very, very good. And between 76 and 99 points are considered excellent, with 100 points or more an outstanding achievement, but is very uncommon. So we're going to be trying to target sort of 60 plus points each week. And like I mentioned, while attacking positions are going to be the bulk of the points collecting, goalkeepers and defenders can also contribute quite nicely towards your total. So last season, 3 players averaged over 4 points per game, and a further 14 players averaged 3.5 or more points. There's also 7 goalkeepers who averaged over 4 points per game. In a 3 sort of defender formation, that's around an average of 14.5 to 15 points from your defense, from your defensive 4, 3 defenders, 1 goalkeeper. And that sort of needs to be the minimum to help set you up for a good point haul, especially from your back 4. Obviously, if you get a clean sheet, you're going to get a few more points, things like that. You need to sort of find the balance to help maximise these numbers. So between clean sheet players and attacking contribution or sort of high saves for goalkeepers. So the average of 6 points per player is considered good throughout your whole team. So maximising each position is crucial. So starting off with the goalkeepers, as I mentioned, I will be trying to keep as much money as possible for my midfielders and the forward positions for the higher points output. Obviously, scoring goals is more points. With that being said, if you're the opposite and you want to select an expensive goalkeeper or mix and match your bench and starters, sort of here's my best options. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is David Raya. He plays for Arsenal and he is 6 million. When that loads, he is 6 million. As you can see there, 6 million. Is that not loaded? Oh, that won't load because there's no stats. My bad. David Raya, Arsenal, 6 million. He hauled in 142 points last season, which was the 3rd most from a goalkeeper position. 13 clean sheets, which was joint 1st. He conceded only 34 goals conceded, which was the 3rd least from a starting goalkeeper. 86 saves, averaged 3.7 points per game on average. His fixture schedule is as follows as well. He's got 3 considered hard games. We're considering the hard teams being sort of the top 5 teams, if you like. So Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Who's the 5th? Yeah, we'll call it the top 4 then. Top 4 are considered hard. So he's got 3 hard games, 4 medium, which is sort of in between, and then 3 easy, which is considered sort of the bottom 5 teams, if you like. So the 2 newly relegated teams. And then maybe 1 or 2 that would maybe Wolves and things like that, who were just slightly above that threshold last year. So yeah, he's got 3 hard games, 4 medium, 3 easy. So he's got a fairly decent fixture schedule coming up in the beginning period in the first 10 games anyway. Similar for Alisson. I'll mention Alisson. 112 points last year, 9th most from a goalkeeper, but remember he did miss time with injury as well. 10 clean sheets, which is joint 3rd most clean sheets in the league last year. 29 goals conceded, which is the 2nd least from starting goalkeepers, but again, he was out injured as well. 78 saves in total, averaging 4 points per game on average, and very similar to Alisson, to David Raya. 3 hard games, 5 medium, 2 easy games. I'll actually run down a few of those games. So Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal are the first 3 games. So 2 hard games, 1 medium, followed by Burnley and Everton. So 2 easy games follow the 2 hard games. Moving on to more of a value pick. There's a lot of obviously goalkeepers within this area here that you could pick. I'm not going to mention any of those. I'm going to go straight down to the next page. I'm going to mention Leno. Where's Leno gone? So Leno, he actually hauled in 115 total points last year, so slightly more than Alisson. There's Leno, right? So Leno, Fulham, and he is 4.5 million. I forgot to mention that. So he is considered a value pick. 115 total points, 8th most from goalkeepers last year, 5 clean sheets, 54 goals conceded, which obviously is on the higher end, but 110 saves, which is the 5th most in the league, averaging 3 points per game on average, and he does have a slightly harder schedule. He will play, let's have a look, 4 hard games, which are going to be followed by 4 medium and 2 easy. So he's got Brighton, Man United and Chelsea, the first 3, followed by Leeds, Brentford and Aston Villa. So yeah, again, a very mixed schedule for Leno. Moving down to my next value pick, which is going to be Alfonso Areola from West Ham. He is also 4.5 million. He holding 69 points last year, but he was rotated with Fabianski quite frequently. Fabianski is no longer there, so he should be the number 1 guy. 4 clean sheets for him, 41 goals conceded, 82 saves, which is the 15th most in the league by the goalkeepers, averaging only 2.7 points per game on average. But again, he was rotated in and out a lot last year. This year, he will be the main guy. He has a favourable starting fixture. So he starts off at Sunderland, which is considered very easy, followed by Chelsea, Forest, Tottenham, Palace, Everton, before playing a hard game against Everton, and then finishing off with Brentford, Leeds and Newcastle. So he's got a very favourable sort of matchup with 1 hard game, 7 medium and 2 easy games. So that could pay dividends in the first 10 weeks. And then after Areola, we're going to look for Kelleher. He was obviously Alisson's backup last year. He played very well in his absence, so he played 10 games in total, holding 45 points with 4 clean sheets, conceded just 12 goals, made 27 saves and averaged a league high 4.5 points per game on average. But obviously, again, he only played 10 games. His fixture schedule is very similar to everyone else, really. 2 hard games, 6 medium, 2 easy. So let's have a look who he opens up to. He opens up to Forest, Aston Villa, Sunderland, Chelsea, Fulham. So he's got a fairly decent 5 games there, to be fair. But yeah, again, 2 hard, 6 medium, 2 easy games. He is also 4.5 million, so considered a value pick as well. A few honourable mentions. Well, the only honourable mention that I'm gonna go for here is going to be Robert Sanchez. He's got very, very favourable matchup fixtures for the first 10 games, opening to where he has only 1 hard game in the first 10 games, and that's Liverpool in week 7. So he's got very good fixtures early on. Very good goalkeeper as well, decent goalkeeper, consistent save points, and he had the 6th most points from goalkeepers last year as well. So honourable mention for Rob. Trying to maximise this area of the field, being the defence, trying to keep it as low budget as possible as well, to allow for the midfield and the forward positions, which are the highest scoring players of the team. Attacking defenders are priced higher. They're going to be a premium, but there is a lot of budget friendly players that can contribute to consistent points within the defensive area. So the first one I'm going to mention is Oit-Nouri. Obviously the new signing from Wolves, and he plays Wolves in the first week as well. He scored 125 points last year, which is the 3rd most from defenders. But he is 6 million. Did I mention? He's 6 million, so he's considered a premium defender pick. 84 minutes on average. Obviously, like I said before, you want to be trying to get those full 90-minute players. Averaging 84 minutes. 7 clean sheets with Wolves, with 67 goals conceded. He finished the season with 11 goal contributions, which is the most by any defender last year. Averaged 3.4 points per game on average, and he has a favourable fixture schedule for the first 10. 2 hard games, 6 medium, 2 hard. But again, he's moved from Wolves to Man City, so those numbers should go, well, the fantasy numbers should go up. And the goals conceded and the clean sheets also should sort of even out, as Man City are a better team than Wolves last year. So he's a decent premium pick. He's very attacking as well. And then we're going to look at Kirkez as well. Another one moved from a Premier League team. So he moved from Bournemouth to Liverpool, and again he plays his former team in week 1. 6 million, so priced at a premium. 134 points last season, which is the third most from a defender. 87 average minutes with 9 goals conceded, 9 clean sheets, with 45 goals conceded. 8 goal contributions last year, which is top 10 in the league, averaging 3.5 points per game. Fairly decent fixture schedule, 3 hard games, 5 medium, 2 easy. But again, very attacking player, and he was at a significantly lower ranked team than the team he's currently at. Liverpool last year were one of the best teams defensively, and I'm going to mention the rock, if you like, of that team, and that's Van Dijk. Again, priced at a premium at 6 million. 143 points last season, which is the 4th most, averaging 90 minutes, 14 clean sheets, which is the most by any defender, 38 goals conceded, 4 goal contributions for himself as well, averaging 3.9 points per game on average, which is the 4th most by defenders. Again, similar to Kirke's schedule, 3 hard, 5 medium, 2 easy, but they're the kind of numbers that you're going to be looking at for Kirke's this year. An uptick in total points with an uptick in clean sheets and a less goals conceded ratio as well. And another premium player I'm going to be mentioning is Saliba. Big fan of Saliba. Priced at 6 million, 130 points last season, which is the 8th most, averaging 86 minutes, 12 clean sheets, which is joint 4th most by defenders. Conceded just 29 goals last year, 2 goal contributions for himself, so not really attacking, but getting those clean sheets to make up for it. 3.7 points per game on average, and a reasonable fixture schedule for the first 10. 3 hard, 4 medium, 3 easy games for Arsenal. And then we're going to look at sort of the more value pick, well, the underpriced, if you like. We're calling the premium at 6 million. So anyone sort of under 6 million is considered by myself as a value pick. It's going to be Lewis Skelly. Obviously, I don't want to pick too many players from the same team for your defense. But Lewis Skelly has moved from a midfielder to a defender this year. He's priced at 5.5 million, so I'm going to call him a value pick. He had only 37 points last year, but he sort of came on the scene very late in the season. Averaged 90 minutes in the games he did play. 5 clean sheets with 16 goals conceded. 1 goal contribution, but averaging only 1.6 points per game on average. But again, came into the squad very late in the season, and he should be getting that starting position in fullback for Arsenal now. Similar to Saliba, fixture schedule, 3 hard, 4 medium, 3 easy, so a good schedule for Lewis Skelly. A more value pick, if you like, now. We are going to go down to Robinson of Fulham. 5 million, so very nicely priced, 5 million. 106 points last season, averaged 90 minutes for Fulham, 5 clean sheets, 49 goals conceded, which is on the higher end, but he does make up for it with goal contributions. He actually had 10 assists, which is the most assists by defenders. 2.9 points per game on average. Does have a slightly harder schedule with 4 hard, 4 medium, and only 2 easy games. But again, he's good as a differential, or if you want to put him on your bench and sub him in for those easy games, he should be getting a lot of sort of attacking returns, if you like, for Robinson. Down to my favourite value picks, if you like. James Tarkowski. Everton last year were really, really good defensively. He's priced at 4.5 million, so very, very, very nicely priced. 105 points last year, averaging 88 minutes, 10 clean sheets, which is, he's in the top 10 for clean sheets for his team. 38 goals conceded for him, 2 goal contributions, averaging 3.2 points per game on average, which is fairly decent for the level of the team that he's playing with. Fixture schedule is decent as well, 2 hard, 5 medium, 3 easy games. I think Everton are going to be very good defensively this year, so Tarkowski or even Branthwaite as well, he can get a little mention now. being very, very good for Everton last year, both of them. So I think James Tarkowski is the go-to for those two, out of those two. And then the last one I'm going to go for is, if I can find him in this list without typing him in, it's going to be Van Heck. There he is, Van Heck for Brighton. 4.5 million, so value again. He's going to be decent for your bench, or starting those crucial games. 87 points last season, averaging 82 minutes, 7 clean sheets with 47 goals conceded. 2 goal contributions, averaging 2.6 points per game on average. Fixture schedule is 2 hard, 7 medium, 1 easy, so not a good schedule to open up the season. But he was really, really crucial for them last year. He was sort of their rock and their talisman at the back, if you like. They played a lot better with him in the team. A few honourable mentions for the defensive side. I'm going to start off by mentioning Frimpong. Obviously, 6 million, premium price. Hasn't played in the Premier League yet, but he's a very, very good attacking and defensive output kind of player. He's very fast. He had 10 goal contributions last year and 25 starts, so I expect him to sort of be able to do some of the things that sort of Trent and Andy Robertson have been lacking on, kind of thing last year. Reece James as well, similar, very attacking-minded player. He's on set pieces. He's a high attacking kind of player. The downside for him is injuries. He hasn't played 20 plus games since 2021, which is a little bit of a concern, which is why he's not on my list of players. He's in my honourable mentions. A few value players that I really like. Wan-Bissaka, 5 million. Really good and really comfortable on the ball. He looks to sort of attack first. 7 contributions last year in 35 games, but he only had 6 clean sheets. So my main concern for him is that the rest of the West Ham defence is going to let him down and sort of tank his numbers. That's the reason why I haven't picked up on him a little bit more. And then the next player that I really like is Kyle Walker. Value pick, awesome player. One of the best Premier League right backs ever. Still regarded as one of England's best right backs. He's still in the England squad as well. Attacks well, and he should play a lot. Obviously, a player of his calibre and his standard, he should play a lot. So I expect him to get a few 90 minutes and things like that. And obviously, Burnley were historically good on defence last year as well. And then we're going to skip right to the end of the list and try and find another guy that I'm picking up on. And that is going to be Aiden Haven for Man United. He might not be a player that you've heard of much. Me being a Man United fan, we are very high on him. He actually came from Arsenal last year, and he obviously signed for us. So he's going to be a good sort of value or bench player. £4 million value. Very good value. He's a United prospect. He hasn't played much, but he should be rotated well within the squad. So he's played 45 plus minutes in the last 5 games for Man United. He's actually started the last 3 friendly games for us as well. So it could be that they're sort of building him up into that starting position, but he will at least be on rotation for the centre-back position. Obviously, our centre-backs are sort of aging a little bit. So Aiden Haven, sort of a one to watch. He's a very low budget. If you do want to put a player on your bench that's going to cost a very, very little, he's that player. 4 million. He's the lowest. You can't get any lower in price. And he does have the potential to actually be a starter for Man United as well. So Aiden Haven, the final value pick for this one. Mention the strategies as well, so keep an eye on the strategies. I did post a YouTube short about my strategies as well, so if you want to keep being reminded of those strategies in a 30-second video, I will link it to this on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Obviously, the more people that watch this, the more people I can help within fantasy football, whether that's Fan Team or the Fantasy Premier League app, anywhere and everywhere. But make sure you get this shared, like, subscribe, follow for obviously more for the rest of the positions. Midfielders will be next week, forwards will be the week after, and then the week after that will be game week 1. So I'll break down a full squad on how I'm going to be building out my full squad with strategies and things like that. But yeah, defenders and goalkeepers locked in. Appreciate everyone for listening. Nice and short, half an hour episode. Again, like, share, subscribe, get more people watching. Let me help more people win money in fantasy. And don't forget to head over to my X, Elite Wages. Follow me over there. I do post, I tweet regularly. And yeah, give me a follow. Don't be hesitant on asking some questions. And I'm going to log out and catch you later for next.